I was adopted by the Shu family for more than 10 years. My two brothers treated me like an eyesore, cutting my dresses, tearing up my photos, and giving the study abroad opportunity I worked so hard for to the nanny's daughter. I thought marrying off to a sickly man was the worst of my luck, but little did I know, the man I ended up marrying was the pen pal crush I'd been searching for over the past 2 years. Now my former brothers are waking up to their mistake and begging me to take them back? Too late. Back then, when you ignored me, now I make you realize you're not worthy of me. This lifetime, I'm only staying with my true soulmate. Cheng Yu, the young master of the Cheng family, is a sickly man. The Cheng family really had no other choice but to pin their hopes on metaphysics. They did a fortune reading, and it turns out I'm a perfect match. Madame Shu thought I was unwilling because I kept my head down. She put on an air of seniority. The Shu family has raised you for so many years. We can't just let you go for nothing. Even if you don't want to, you have to endure it. Understand? I quickly replied, no, auntie, actually I'm willing. After all, I'm not even welcomed in this family. Shu Yunshin and Shu Linzhou would be happy if I left. Especially Shu Linzhou. If he misunderstood that I was refusing to leave, who knows how he would torture me. Seeing that Madame Shu's expression softened, I gathered my courage and argued for myself. I'm only a sophomore. Last semester I secured a spot as an exchange student at Bole University. Would it be possible for me to finish my studies before coming back to marry? The opportunity to go to Bole University was precious. I could meet the pen pal I'd been chatting with for 3 years in high school, and he was also the youngest professor in the Fine Arts Department at Bole University, Island. There was only one spot in the whole class. It took me 2 years of hard work to earn it. I didn't want to give it up. I met her eyes, the same ones I feared and looked forward to. Madame Shu elegantly set down her teacup. Pack your things. The Cheng family will send someone to pick you up tonight. It was a clear rejection. I lowered my gaze. All right, I replied obediently. When Shu Linzhou barged in holding his helmet, I had just finished packing. He roughly pulled me out. You're supposed to go with Wei Wei to watch the race, and you're hiding here? Why didn't you go? She went up the mountain alone and came back. Do you know how scared she was? His gaze met mine, where I had secretly been crying, eyes red. Shu Linzhou froze for a moment. He let go of me with a cold sneer. What? Are you pretending to have stomach pain to trick me? Every year at this time, Shu Linzhou participated in racing competitions. He always won first place. So, every year, he would make Lu Weiwei watch. The mountain road was too far, and he was afraid Lu Weiwei would be scared, so he always ordered me to go with her. Last year, I had menstrual cramps and didn't go. Shu Linzhou got really mad. When he came back and saw my pale face, he rushed to buy me some painkillers. But for several days afterward, the hot water in my room mysteriously stopped working, and I could only wash up with cold water. Later, I found out that Lu Weiwei had deliberately told everyone that my stomach pains were just for show, because they had never seen me in pain before. Shu Linzhou believed it, thinking I was tricking him. He angrily ordered someone to ruin all the hot water pipes in my room. In the end, I endured the stomach pain, studied from professional books, and secretly fixed it in the middle of the night. Madame Shu had reminded me. The marriage arrangement couldn't be known to my two brothers. Under Shu Linzhou's cold stare, I swallowed my anger, crawled over, and gently tugged at his sleeve. Exams are coming soon, and I still have a lot of questions I haven't figured out. That's why I didn't go with Wei Wei. Brother, don't be angry. Next time, I promise I won't break my word. But Shu Linzhou didn't ease up just because I showed weakness. Instead, the pressure around him kept growing. I could sense the danger. My eyelashes trembled, and I lowered my head to tidy up the books scattered on the bed. If my second brother doesn't have anything else to say, I'll go study in the library. I hadn't even placed the last IELTS book inside my bag. The pink backpack was suddenly snatched away. The zipper wasn't closed, and the books scattered everywhere. Then my hands were twisted behind my back, and I was pinned to the bed. Shu Linzhou held the IELTS book in one hand and squeezed the back of my neck with the other. Leaning close to my ear, he sneered, Shu Tang, are you still dreaming of going to the UK? The exchange student spot to Bole University has already been reserved for Wei Wei by my older brother, didn't you know? This is something you owe Wei Wei. Since you insisted on being a little sister, you should stay in the Shu family forever, shouldn't you? By the time Shu Linzhou slammed the door and left, I was still lying dazed on the bed. Actually, I had always known that Shu Linzhou didn't like me. He even hated me. He couldn't wait to see me stuck in the mud, never able to rise. After all, from the very beginning, The sister he wanted wasn't me. He liked Lu Weiwei, who had grown up with him in the nanny's house. But later, Lu Weiwei's father died while shielding Shu's father from a bullet, and her mother, unwilling to stay in the sorrowful place, took Lu Weiwei and left the Shu family. The Shu family needed a girl to show off in public. So Shu Yunshan brought me back from the orphanage. Shu Linzhou never really liked me. He either complained that I was too pale like a ghost or that I was too thin with a sharp, small face that was hard to look at. Nothing about me looked right to him. So, he would pull my hair or force me to watch him play sports or race cars, making me bring him water. But when I received love letters on the field, he would turn red in the eyes, drag me back home, lock me in my room, and call me cheap. You're flirting with my friends too, Shu Tang. Can you be any more promiscuous? That night, he cut up all my little skirts. He made me only wear the dull school uniform from now on. It was also that night that Lu Weiwei returned to the Shu family. She immediately took a liking to the room I was staying in. She pouted at Shu Linzhou. I want to live closer to brother Linzhou. The nanny room is too dark and there are mice. I don't want to stay there. Shu Linzhou lazily lay back, letting her affectionately cling to his arm. He looked up, pretending not to care. He saw my fingers twisting nervously as I anxiously stared at him. He wrapped his arm around Lu Weiwei's waist and grinned. Okay, you can move to my room. Let Shu Tang stay in the nanny room outside. But I'm afraid of mice too. At that time, Shu's parents were traveling around the world, and my older brother was in charge at home. I wanted to beg Shu Yunshan for help. He was already upset about the arranged marriage and had been drinking. His usually neat suit was disheveled. With slightly tipsy eyes, he pulled me onto his lap. His large hand gently rubbed my sharp chin. Shu Tang, stop being so dramatic. Weiwei lived there for 5 years. Why can't you stay there? If it weren't for Weiwei having to leave, you'd still be in the orphanage. If you want to stay in the Shu family, you have to obey, got it? His words were like a bowl of ice water poured down my throat. I lowered my eyes. There were clearly other rooms in the villa. There was definitely a better solution. But I suddenly realized, no one in this family actually wanted to solve the problem. Lu Weiwei just wanted to see me suffer. And in Shu Linzhou and Shu Yunshan's eyes, since I took the place of their daughter in the Shu family, I was born to repay the debt to Lu Weiwei. I numbly took out my clothes from my luggage. In the darkness, my phone screen suddenly lit up. I didn't want to pay attention, but I accidentally glanced at the screen and saw a friend request icon. In the dead, decaying jungle, a few ice blue butterflies emerged from the rotting tree trunks. This was Island's famous work. He became famous in Bowl with this painting. Those butterflies were added at my suggestion. When I realized what was happening, I had already picked up my phone and accepted the friend request. When I saw the name, Cheng Yu, my fingers trembled slightly. The eldest son of the Cheng family, the one Madame Shu wanted me to marry, shared this name. I had never met him, but I knew he had some artistic talent, though he was a sickly man, and not easy to get along with. What could he want now by adding me? After waiting a long time without a reply, I started to panic. I decided to take the initiative and ask, Mr. Cheng, is there something you need? Cheng Yu replied after a while, there's something going on at the company today. I might be late picking you up. Will you wait a little longer? Okay. His tone was soft. I was about to put my phone away when another message came in. I heard from Madame Shu that you plan to study at Bowl University's Fine Arts Department? I happen to have worked there. I can take you with me. Do you have any professors in mind? I can help arrange that. My heart raced as I thought I must have misread. But after double-checking the message several times, I shakily typed a reply. I really like Professor Island. Is that okay? There was a long silence from his end. I thought I had asked too much, anxiously holding my breath. Until a simple, okay, came through, and I could finally breathe again. My phone fell onto the bed. I was so excited that I almost jumped up. Cheng Yu would come to pick me up tonight. I packed up my things and then decided to pull off the bed sheets and covers. I was going to toss them in the laundry room. When I opened the door, Shu Yunshan was standing outside. Seeing me, he calmly put his fingers back in his suit pocket. I didn't panic. I slowly closed the door, blocking the blue suitcase in the middle of the room. Then I called him softly, Big brother. Is there something you need? Shu Yunshan looked down at my head. His gaze brushed over the red marks on my neck, and his throat moved. Did Shu Linzhou tell you about the exchange student program? I nodded, my back against the wall. My lips tightly pressed together, not speaking. Seeing the wary expression on my face, Shu Yunshin's gaze darkened, and he withdrew his hand that had reached out to me. He spoke again. His voice was hoarse, filled with an indescribable tension. If you want to go to the UK, I'll be there on a business trip soon. I can take you along. You can stay as long as you want. With me. If you go as an exchange student, you'll have to stay with a host family, and I can't control the conditions. I can't let you stay alone. I'll be worried. I looked up at him. I can go to Seoul University? Although Cheng Yu had promised me, he was still a stranger I had never met. Despite my strained relationship with Shu Yunshin, after over 10 years of living together, I would still prefer to stay with him. Noticing my softened attitude, Shu Yunshin's tense face eased. He leaned down closer, standing in the second-floor hallway. His dark eyes seemed to focus only on me. How about Birmingham? It's closer to my company. I lowered my head again, softly replying, either works. And just like that, it didn't matter anymore. Tonight, Cheng Yu would come to pick me up. What they want to arrange for me, it's no longer my concern. Since I was little, I've always been afraid of Shu Yunshin. He's only 3 years older than me, but he always acted like he was above everyone. When I was 10, at the orphanage, Shu Yunshin picked me out right away, just because I was holding a bunny doll. Before I left, the director of the orphanage grabbed my hand and gave me some advice. The family that adopts you values appearances. They probably chose you because you're pretty and can handle social situations. You can't be willful. You need to learn proper manners and be graceful, so they'll see you as valuable and won't throw you away. Do you understand? I was young back then, still holding my doll, nodding without really understanding. When I arrived at the Shu family, I obediently called him Big Brother and listened to everyone in the household. I was forced to take all kinds of lessons, etiquette, piano, dance, violin, all the things Shu's mother signed me up for. But Shu Yunshin still didn't like me. He grew more distant from me, and whenever I got too close, he would frown. In my first year of high school, I quietly saw him cutting out my parts of the family photo. He cut out every photo of me and kept them in his room. I knew he had a paper shredder in there. After Lu Weiwei came back and cleaned his room, she showed me the shredded pieces of paper. Here's your photo. Sorry, I didn't know Big Brother Yunshin hated you so much. I thought it was someone else's photo, maybe an enemy of his. She had a baby face with big, bright eyes. And even when she was provoking others, she always smiled sweetly. So when Shu Yunshin just happened to return at that moment, Lu Weiwei purposely said I took the photo from his room. He didn't give me any chance to explain. After a brief moment of panic, a fierce anger rose in his eyes. He glared at me, biting his teeth as he spat out each word. Get out of the Shu family. Don't ever let me see you again. It was a snowy day. I was only wearing a thin nightgown, freezing outside the villa, burning with heat. In the end, Shu Linzhou, who had been racing all night, carried me back home. I heard that night was the first time the brothers fought. They broke several of Shu's mother's antique vases. When I woke up from the fever, I saw Shu Yunshin, who looked exhausted. When he saw I was awake, his face softened, and he gently coaxed me to take my medicine. I pulled away. I buried my face in the blanket. It wasn't until Shu Linzhou took over my bedside that I obediently took the medicine. I didn't even look at the tall figure hidden in the dark corner. I had been pretending to be obedient for so many years. But I had my own temper. Since Shu Yunshin didn't like me, then I didn't like him either. Cheng Yu had something to take care of and would be late. I packed up my things and went downstairs to help Auntie prepare dinner. Halfway through, Shu Linzhou and Lu Weiwei walked in, laughing. Lu Weiwei was wearing a new dress Shu Linzhou bought for her, holding 2 skewers of candied fruit. When she saw me, she playfully came over and said, Little Tang Tang, these candied fruits are from Brother Linzhou. Here, I'll give you one. I didn't respond. I carried the soup, silently avoiding the candied fruit. Then my arm was suddenly grabbed. Shu Linzhou's face turned cold, and his brows were furrowed. Lu Weiwei is talking to you. Are you deaf? Stop pretending. You're just a little orphan, living off the Shu family for a few years and thinking you're some kind of lady now? He twisted my arm. My grip loosened, and the bowl in my hand fell to the ground. The hot soup splashed onto my leg. My soft skin immediately turned pink from the burn. I curled up my leg in pain. Shu Linzhou's expression changed, and he bent down to pick me up. Does it hurt? I'll take you to the hospital. I don't need your help. I frowned and pulled away from him, stepping back a few more steps. Cheng Yu was about to arrive. I wanted to leave a good impression. I couldn't let him see others hugging me like this. I don't care about you. The more you hurt the better. After I humiliated him. Shu Linzhou withdrew his hand and stormed out. I ignored his rage and hurried upstairs to apply medicine. But Shu Yunshin was standing in the middle of the stairs. His hands were in his suit pockets, half his face hidden in the shadows. His dark eyes were focused on the swaying hem of my skirt. When I saw the blue suitcase next to him and the half-open door behind him, a buzzing sound echoed in my mind. Unlike the cold, menacing atmosphere surrounding him, Shu Yunshin's demeanor seemed casual, even slightly leaning forward. His voice, although still low, was unexpectedly gentle. Tang Tang, tell your brother, where are you going with your things? His voice was raspy, coaxing me gently. I didn't know how long the silence lasted. I stared at the veins showing on the back of his hand and swallowed hard. When I looked up again, my eyes were filled with frustration. Didn't Big Brother say he would take me to the UK? I was so excited. I packed early. I was too impatient. I'm sorry. Shu Yunshin was taken aback, clearly not expecting me to say that. Just as he was about to speak, Lu Weiwei suddenly wrapped her arm around his. Big Brother Yunshin, I visited Mom today. She really wants to see you and Brother Linzhou. Let's go to the hospital together, okay? 4 years ago, after Lu's mother was diagnosed with stomach cancer, Lu Weiwei was sent to the Shu family while her mother was almost always in the hospital. I heard her condition had worsened recently and she probably wouldn't survive the month. Because of the favor owed to them, Lu's mother held significant weight in the hearts of the Shu brothers. Shu Yunshin lowered his gaze and looked at me. Big Brother is going to the hospital. He might be home late tonight. You eat well, sleep early, and don't run around, okay? Before I could respond, Shu Linzhou, who had just returned, sneered coldly. She's still hoping you'll take her to the UK. How could she possibly run away? Lu Weiwei, come here, I'll take you on the motorcycle. He moved to pull Lu Weiwei closer, casually tossing something on the floor. It was a box of burn ointment. The packaging had a cute bunny pattern. It seemed to be a new product from Zhenxin Pharmaceutical, which Shu Linzhou had invested in. I didn't pick it up, just stood there watching them leave. Soon, the sound of the car's engine grew distant. A flash of lightning lit up outside. Aunt Zhang came over, asking if I wanted the spilled soup refilled. Her daughter was sick, so she had made extra. Just then, Cheng Yu's message popped up on my phone. He was already outside the villa. I picked up my suitcase and shook my head at Aunt Zhang. No need, you can take the food to your daughter. No one will be eating here tonight. To be honest, I was still nervous about meeting someone I'd only exchanged a few words with. Especially since we were supposed to get married. The road out of the villa seemed unusually long. But thinking that Cheng Yu would take me to the UK, I forced a perfect smile and ran toward the man leaning on the black Maybach. Before I could speak, he stubbed out his cigarette, coughed a few times, and frowned as he looked at my burnt leg. What happened to your leg? Cheng Yu had fair skin, a red mole on his nose like a plum blossom blooming on a snowy mountain. But due to his poor health, his eyes always seemed weary. I didn't want to expose my embarrassment, so I hid my leg behind me and said, I accidentally burned it. It's fine. Cheng Yu smiled helplessly. You don't have to rush. I would have waited for you. After we got in the car, Cheng Yu didn't drive immediately. He handed me a tube of ointment. Use this. It'll heal faster and won't leave a scar. I was a little surprised by how considerate Cheng Yu was. I shyly took it, murmuring, thank you. When I saw the brand name on the ointment, I froze. The brand, Xinyu, was rare, and it was from the UK, almost impossible to find in China. The only time I encountered it was during my senior year when I got injured during a physical exam. Island had sent me a tube of that ointment. We were both at our lowest point in life when we met. I had been bullied at school by Lu Weiwei's group. And he had been seriously ill, planning to give up going abroad to pursue his art career. Like 2 matches abandoned in a snowstorm. We warmed each other up and eventually sparked a flame. That butterfly emerging from a cocoon was a painting he made during that time. Later, after he recovered, he went to Berlin as he had hoped. And his pen name, Island, gained fame in the art world. I later found out that he was also from S-City. After the college entrance exams, he came back to China and we agreed to meet at a cafe. I was excited, so I secretly bought a beautiful dress when Shu Linzhou wasn't home. But the day before we were supposed to meet, Lu Weiwei sneaked into my computer and saw my chat history. She took screenshots of it and sent them to Shu Linzhou. When Island was waiting for me at the cafe, I was locked in my study, crying with swollen eyes, unable to stop Shu Linzhou from smashing my phone and computer and breaking my memory card. My account was permanently deactivated. After that, I lost contact with Island completely. I wanted to see him, wanted to explain everything to him. That's why I worked so hard to get into Seoul University. The car stopped at the villa halfway up the mountain. When Cheng Yu saw me staring at the ointment, he asked, "What's wrong? Is it hard to apply?" I quickly shook my head. "No, I was just thinking about an old friend." He pulled out a contract and a black card from the drawer. "I know you agreed to this marriage arrangement unwillingly, so I've prepared this contract in advance. My health has improved a lot over the past few years, but the elders are still worried, so they came up with this solution. Once they're at ease, I'll divorce you. It won't take more than a year. As compensation, you can use the money in this card however you like. And I'll take care of all the paperwork for your study abroad in Berlin." He paused. His eyes seemed more downcast in the moonlight. "Actually, I've already found someone I like, and I've been looking for her. If I find her, I might end this marriage early and make amends." I looked up at him. "Have you lost contact with the person you like too?" "Yeah, for 2 years. But I've never met her in real life. It's an online relationship." I never expected Cheng Yu to not be as bad-tempered as I had heard. He was also a lovesick fool. It seems like my life in the Cheng family won't be too hard after all. As long as I keep my distance from Cheng Yu, it will be fine. I secretly breathed a sigh of relief and signed the contract. Don't worry, I won't overstep. In the following days, except for delivering the medicine, I rarely saw Cheng Yu. Instead, I spent most of my time navigating the elders of the Cheng family. I listened to them instructing Cheng Yu on his dietary restrictions and habits, and learned how to brew medicine. Though the nanny usually handled this, Cheng's aunt said the wife's touch would make the medicine more effective. Cheng Yu took a lot of medicine, both Chinese and Western. I often had to stay up late to brew it, and the next morning my eyes were bloodshot. Occasionally, when Cheng Yu came downstairs to eat and saw my condition, he would sigh. "Actually, the nanny could do all this. You don't have to go this far." I served him a bowl of ginseng soup, smiling shyly. "It's okay, I can handle it." Since I signed a contract and Cheng Yu gave me enough compensation, I had to give it my all. These days, I focused entirely on Cheng Yu and kept my phone off. Occasionally, I heard rumors about the Shu family. I heard the adopted daughter of the Shu family had gone missing. Both young masters were frantic. Shu Linzhou even got into a car accident while searching for her in the middle of the night, and he was still unconscious in the ICU. I was startled and quickly turned on my phone. All I could see was the hundreds of missed calls and messages from Shu Linzhou. "Open black lens bracket Shu Tang. You've really made something of yourself, huh? Out wandering again in the middle of the night. Open black lens bracket hurry up and come back. Don't make me come looking for you myself. Open black lens bracket great. Getting bold. Now you won't even reply to my messages. Open black lens bracket are you with a guy or a girl? Send me a photo and let me see. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket it's dangerous outside. Don't stay out too late. Got it? Open black lens bracket I've already sorted out the paperwork to go to the UK, and rented an apartment. I'll go with you and Big Brother when the time comes. Open black lens bracket Tang Tang. I was wrong. I shouldn't have been so harsh with you. Please come back, okay?" The last message was from 3 days ago. Shu Linzhou also sent 2 photos of 2 suitcases leaning together. The black one was his. The blue one was mine. The suitcases weren't packed. He probably thought I had run away because I was angry. But what he didn't know was that I would never go back. I exited the chat interface. I was about to deactivate my account for good. But then the pinned black avatar lit up. There were only 2 messages. But it felt like someone had suddenly shoved me into a freezer. The cold, biting liquid filled every pore and nostril, almost drowning me. Open black lens bracket it's too late today. Big Brother will come to the Cheng family to pick you up tomorrow. Open black lens bracket stay put. Don't try to run, understand? The first thought that popped into my head was to run. But before I could open the door, I deflated. What good would running do? Shu Yunshin was so smart. No matter where I went, he would find me. I had to make him give up on me completely. After all, he'd always resented me taking Lu Weiwei's place. Now he was questioning me. He was probably just angry that his pet, the one he had been holding in his hand, slipped out of control. Once I explained, he should stop bothering me. I took a deep breath and calmed myself down. I lowered my head and sent Shu Yunshin a message. Open black lens bracket Big Brother. Cheng Yu and I are about to get married, so it wouldn't be appropriate for you to come pick me up now, right? Open black lens bracket. Uncle and auntie said I should stay at the Cheng family until the wedding. The Xu and Cheng families had been working together for many years. I was gambling, betting that Xu Yunshan wouldn't make trouble with the Cheng family just for me. But the reply came faster than I expected. Open black lens bracket. The Cheng family only values your birth chart. I've already sent someone to find a more suitable girl than you, and showed her photo to Cheng's mother. She's very satisfied. Open black lens bracket. Cheng Yu has a white moonlight he's been looking for 2 years. He's very emotionally attached to her. His bad temper before was because he met her, and he's been slowly calming down since then. Tang Tang, don't be fooled by Cheng Yu's gentle facade now. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. He will never love you. If you marry him, you'll be living like a widow. Do you understand? Open black lens bracket. Big brother is thinking of your happiness. If you're willing, you can stay with me for the rest of your life. The last sentence came several minutes after the others. I rubbed the phone screen, looking at the lines of text. My heart skipped a few beats. Living at Xu's family, would I spend my whole life under their control? If that's really the case, that would be terrifying. After confirming that Cheng Yu hadn't gone to bed yet, I stood in front of his study door. The door was automatic, and once Cheng Yu opened the permissions, it opened with a push. When I saw what was behind the door, I froze for a moment before walking in. Redwood bookshelves, black painted walls, an office desk. Even the soft Persian rug was covered in portraits. All of them were of a girl. A girl with long straight hair, twin ponytails, swinging on a swing, wearing a school uniform. None of the paintings showed her face. But based on the figure, I could tell it was the same person. As I walked closer to the man sitting at the drawing board in white clothes, I accidentally caught a glimpse of the school emblem on the new painting. Zon City No. 1 High School. So Cheng Yu's crush went to the same high school as me. Cheng Yu had just finished painting the daisies in the girl's hair. He put down his brush and looked up at me, his eyes carrying a faint weariness. The painting was really well done. I held my hands behind my back and praised it without holding back. Cheng Yu curled his lips into a small smile. She took first place in the physical test in her senior year. She sent me a photo of her back, but quickly retracted it. The photo lasted less than 2 minutes, but I remembered it for 2 years. After a brief moment of nostalgia, he asked me, "You came to find me so late. Is something wrong?" I thought, if he could care so much about a girl he'd never met, he should understand my obsession with Island as well. So I said directly, "Mr. Cheng, I want to go to Berlin tonight. Is that okay? I'll consider the cost of the trip and the favor for meeting Island as owing you. Once I settle in the UK, I'll find a job to pay you back. No need." Before I could finish speaking, Cheng Yu interrupted me. "Since the contract has already been signed, there's no need to repay it." He looked at me intently. "I'm curious. Why are you so insistent on meeting Island? This shouldn't just be simple admiration, right?" His words hit a nerve. I blushed. My voice small, but in the quiet study, it was particularly clear. I've been pen pals with Island for a long time. On the day we were supposed to meet, my account was deactivated by my second brother. I had said I would go to Berlin to find him, and I think he's been waiting for me. I wasn't sure if it was just my imagination, but I felt Cheng Yu's breathing grow slightly more rushed. His face flushed a bit. I was about to reach out and feel his forehead, but he suddenly pulled me into a scorching embrace. Cheng Yu had broad shoulders and long legs, and he worked out regularly, so he appeared quite sturdy. But up close, I noticed his muscles were thin. Beneath the smooth lines, I could easily touch his hard bones. So I braced myself with my arms, staying still in his embrace, not daring to move. I felt like I might hurt him. Gradually, the man grew bolder, moving from a half-fist distance to burying his whole head in my neck. Didn't Cheng Yu have someone he liked? Was he, like, sick? I was about to push him away when his slow breath swept over my skin. "Little fish, I've been looking for you for 2 years. 2 whole years." Little fish was the name I used when chatting with Island. A current shot up my spine to the top of my head. I almost thought I was hallucinating. Looking down, I cupped Cheng Yu's face, looking at him from left to right. "You are, Island?" Cheng Yu, afraid I wouldn't believe him, not only showed me all his social media accounts and his work ID from Berlin University, but even wanted to draw a picture on the spot to prove it. I helplessly refused. "I believe you, but you're not feeling well, so don't overdo it this late." I wasn't sure which nerve I hit in him. Cheng Yu, with the paintbrush in his hand, froze, then suddenly spun around and grabbed my waist. "Cheng Yu, who had been distant earlier, was now like a golden retriever, all clingy. Baby, I'm much better now. I'm nothing like they said I am. Let's go to the UK now, okay? Before he could finish, someone knocked on the study door. Xu Yunshan's cold voice rang from outside. Mr. Cheng, I'm here to take my sister home. Cheng Yu pulled the door open with a dark face. But his hand still tightly held mine. As if afraid I would run away. Xu Yunshan stood under the hallway lights. His gaze swept over our entwined hands. His face stiffened for a moment. He held it in and, with a soft expression, extended his hand to me. Tang Tang, come here, let's go home with Big Brother. Suddenly, the hand in mine tightened. Cheng Yu's eyes grew more menacing. I remembered the rumors about his bad temper, so I shook his hand. This is between me and my brother. You go first. I'll talk to him. Cheng Yu didn't want to leave, looking at me pitifully like a golden retriever. But it was Xu Yunshan who nearly laughed with anger. You want to explain what to me? You're grown up now, and you're going to cut ties with your brother over an outsider? I had always been careful in the Xu family. Afraid of doing something wrong, afraid of angering my brothers. If it were usual, I would have obediently followed Xu Yunshan. But now, I knew Cheng Yu was island. I knew that no matter what, he would stand by me. I knew that even if I failed, there was an embrace waiting to warm me. Suddenly, I found the courage to resist. I looked Xu Yunshan in the eye. You're wrong. I'm not cutting ties with you because of Cheng Yu. It's because we never had any real relationship to begin with. I'm marrying into the Cheng family, and from now on, you'll only have Lu Weiwei as your sister. Shouldn't you be happy about that? Xu Yunshan sighed helplessly. Tang Tang, don't be stubborn. You're the only sister I have, and Lin Zhou feels the same way. The reason he's good to Lu Weiwei is because of his father, nothing more. I've already had her move out. From now on, the Xu family will only have you as the young lady. Stop throwing tantrums, okay? To this day, Xu Yunshan still thought I was just throwing a tantrum. My anger broke through the threshold, but strangely, I felt calmer. Yes, I really did hate Lu Weiwei. I didn't want to see her at all. But didn't Big Brother say he would have her leave? Xu Yunshan sighed in relief and reached out to pat my head. But when I spoke my next sentence, his whole body stiffened. And his breathing grew heavy. But, I hate my brothers more. The ones who allowed Lu Weiwei to bully me. The ones who listened to her lies and made me wash cold water. The ones who left me out in the snow. The ones who gave the spots I worked hard for to Lu Weiwei. I hated them so much. So Big Brother, don't ever show up in front of me again, okay? I saw Xu Yunshan's calm expression crack. A feeling of satisfaction rose in me. I don't know how much time passed. He crouched down, his eyes red as he coaxed me. It was my fault before. I'll change. Tang Tang, don't be mad, okay? It was the first time I'd seen Xu Yunshan so humble. He had always been the one in control, always holding everything firmly in his hands. At that moment, I seemed to understand something. I grabbed Xu Yunshan's tie and leaned close to his ear, smiling wickedly. No matter what kind of person you become, I'll never like you, because a brother who likes his sister is disgusting. He looks like he should be locked away in a mental hospital. That night, Xu Yunshan, utterly defeated, practically fled the scene. He never came to find me again. And I suddenly understood that love is a strange thing. The one in control of love is on top, while the one controlled by love is humbled to the ground. Just like these days living at Cheng's family, I keep receiving all kinds of packages. Inside are things related to my childhood. The stuffed rabbit from the orphanage. And a stack of rough-cut photos. Each one represented a different stage of my life. It looked like they were better preserved than the family portrait hanging in Xu's hall. Each one had a line of writing behind it. As the owner grew up, the handwriting grew more and more powerful. My sister is so beautiful. I wish she could always be my sister. I want to hide my sister away. When my mother found the photo of my sister in my room, she got angry. Threw the photos into the shredder, called me disgusting, and took me to see a psychiatrist. When we returned from the hospital, I happened to catch my sister holding the shredded photos. Did she think I was disgusting too? If I acted like I really hated my sister, would she not notice? My mother arranged a marriage for me. But will my sister also be arranged for marriage in the future? I can't imagine my sister being with another man. This is the first time I've gotten drunk. Why does it feel like my sister hates me more when I wake up? She says she doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. It seems like she really likes Cheng Yu. What's so great about Cheng Yu? I wrote a long paragraph and then scratched it out. Forget it, as long as she's happy. Anyway, it's my fault. The last line was scribbled quickly. At the end, there were fresh red blood stains. I wondered why Shu Yunshin would send me these things. Until I received a message from Mrs. Shu. Only then did I realize she had sent all of them. Open black lens bracket. Do you know how much your brother likes you? How could you hurt him like this? Open black lens bracket. Your brother hasn't even been going to the company. He's just at home drinking every day, and you still haven't come back yet. Open black lens bracket. I'm already discussing changing the marriage match with your Aunt Cheng. You need to come back today. Got it? Attached was a picture. Mrs. Shu was clearly very angry. The photo was blurry, but from the yellow and green colors, I could tell it was a room filled with smoke and alcohol. Cheng Yu happened to come over, like a big dog, burying his head in my neck. Seeing the chat history, he pouted. Looks like I'll have to move up my UK trip. What's up with everyone trying to take you away from me? I helplessly pushed him away, casually turned off the screen, and took out the drawing I had just finished, asking him for advice. Teacher Cheng, if you're done sleeping, how about giving me some pointers on my drawing? After everything I'd gone through, I finally realized, the reason I was always suppressed in the Shu family, was because I was too weak. Hurting me didn't come with consequences. That's why I was kicked around like a ball. My most cherished things could be taken away with just a few words. So after asking Cheng Yu for advice, I signed up for a lot of international art competitions. While building my reputation, I forced myself to keep moving forward. Living on others' sympathy and love will eventually lead to a fall when the scales tip too far. I really don't want to live like that anymore. The day to go to the UK came quickly. At the airport, I met someone I didn't expect. In the waiting room, Shu Linzhou was sitting in a seat with his right leg in a cast. As soon as he saw me holding Cheng Yu's hand, he jumped up. Even though he could barely stand, he still glared at Cheng Yu. Let go of her. Who gave you permission to marry her? Do you know you're kidnapping an innocent girl? Shu Tang, come over here. Don't let him trick you. Come back with me. Don't you know that Cheng Yu has someone he likes? If you go with him to the UK, you might get sold halfway and never come back. After scolding Cheng Yu, Shu Linzhou turned to threaten me. Shu Linzhou had a good relationship with the second young master of the Cheng family. Our news of going abroad today probably came from him. That's why Shu Linzhou happened to block me at this moment. What was he trying to do? Keep me from going? Seeing him so worked up, I couldn't help but laugh. If I hadn't heard that Shu Linzhou had crashed his car after staying up for several days searching for me, and after waking up, secretly pulled out his IV and came looking for me, only to be forced to take several doses of sedatives to calm him down, I really would think he hated me so much, always scolding me like that. Who would have known it was love? It's really laughable. I let go of Cheng Yu's hand and stepped forward under Shu Linzhou's hopeful gaze. I gently adjusted his messy collar. Brother, I heard your right leg might never heal. Such a pity, but I really can't bring myself to like a cripple. After saying that, I smiled and let go of Shu Linzhou. I didn't even touch him, but he fell to the ground. He stared at me blankly, tears slowly filling his eyes. How funny. A person who was so domineering all the time could cry? I shook my head, no longer paying attention to Shu Linzhou, and grabbed Cheng Yu's hand, heading to the boarding gate. Anyway, whatever happens to him, it will no longer be my concern. I won't waste any more energy thinking about them. After arriving in the UK, I still received messages from the Shu family from time to time. I heard both young masters were in a bad state, especially Shu Linzhou, who, knowing he would be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, even considered ending his life. Mrs. Shu had no choice but to step in and handle the company's affairs temporarily, but with her lack of experience, she kept making all sorts of mistakes. She kept trying to contact me. At first, I received many messages from her. Sometimes it was a phone call, and when the phone didn't go through, she'd write letters. Later, Cheng Yu intercepted all of them. For many years after that, I never heard anything about the Shu family in the news. They completely disappeared from my world. To avoid being manipulated by others, I focused entirely on improving myself. Shortly after arriving in the UK, I immediately found a job, painting and making money. I paid Cheng Yu back for the flight and tuition fees, and saved the rest of the money. Sometimes I'd buy him small gifts. Cheng Yu always respected me and knew that I wanted to be with him as an equal. He accepted all the money I gave him, but nearly every day, he'd send me various gifts. Sometimes it was a necklace, sometimes flowers, and on my birthday, he gave me a cute little dog. But when I saved enough money and gained enough recognition in the art world, and was officially hired at Berlin University, planning to pay him rent on time, Cheng Yu was upset with me for the first time. For several days, he ignored me. Only when I had questions did he reluctantly pick up his brush, his face stern, guiding me step by step. One time, We were discussing late into the night. I felt sorry for him, knowing he wasn't in good health, and kept urging him to rest. Cheng Yu kept painting, his lips tight as he coldly lifted the corners. Anyway, I'm just your landlord and learning tool. Why are you bothering me so much? These past few days, I had been busy with competitions, and since Cheng Yu was ignoring me, I was struggling to figure out how to cheer him up. When I heard those words, I immediately wrapped my arms around his neck and pulled myself into his embrace. Of course not. You're my husband. How can a wife not care about her husband? Baby, I was wrong. I won't mention the rent again. Let's go to bed quickly, okay? I'm so tired. I let out a pitiful yawn. Cheng Yu had been keeping a straight face, but when he heard the last sentence, his face turned suspiciously red. Although we had been living together for a long time, we still slept separately. There were many reasons for that. I had too many tasks to handle. Meeting people online, we weren't fully comfortable with each other's bodies, and I was shy. But now, I've made up my mind. I really like Cheng Yu. I like him so much. Whether it's the him I met 2 years ago, or the him now, he makes my heart race. The starry moon outside the window felt romantic. Under Cheng Yu's soft, almost liquid gaze, I cupped his face and kissed him. Of course, it's us. As for a lifetime, life is limited. We really shouldn't ever be apart again.